Alright guys, so in today's video, I'm going to tell you my baseball story, and I'm going to be playing a clip of me hitting the other day, just working on some things, get my weight back and gathering myself on my backside, but I'm also doing some impersonations and stuff in this video. So I'm just going to have this as a visual while I tell the story. But jumping right into it, I started when I was young. I have an older brother. He's a year and a half older, so when he started t-ball, obviously being the younger brother and close by, I started a little earlier to try to keep up. But yeah, I ended up playing Little League and got into my first travel league around 10 years old. Wasn't playing much, wasn't very happy, and I almost quit the game at 10 years old. Luckily, I have great parents who kept me motivated and told me to stick with it because they knew I loved the game. So I did, and I'm glad I did. But when I got to 12 years old, I had my first left-handed at-bat in Cooperstown, New York. We were facing New Jersey, beating them by a bunch of runs, and I went up there and I actually hit a home run my first at-bat left-handed ever in a game. And but I was too scared to do it for the rest of the year. I don't know why. So when I was 13, I decided to full switch hit a home run my first at-bat of the season, and was hooked from there. As far as the impersonation, started around a couple years before that. My brother and I were constantly mimicking major league hitters when we would hit together in the backyard or at the park. So that's what kind of motivated me to start hitting left-handed, because Ken Griffey Jr. was actually my favorite player. So I was constantly hitting like him in the backyard and stuff. So moving on though, when I turned 15, I ended up meeting Eric Flynn, which you see a lot of posts I have of him dropping bombs in my videos as well. So we played travel league together when we were teenagers, which was cool. It was fun. I got old clips of that, which I'll be sharing down the line at some point. After high school, I ended up getting a scholarship to Stony Brook University in Long Island, a Division I school, as a shortstop actually. And I started bulking up my freshman year. They moved me to third base. They had a solidified shortstop at the time, so ended up getting about 80 at-bats, had a decent freshman year. Went on to my sophomore year, where I was a cleanup hitter, right fielder, and actually closing pitcher for Stony Brook. And I was having a year of my life. I was team MVP that year, but as far as my year was really highlighted by my closing numbers and also my runs I was knocking in the cleanup spot. The coach, however, had different plans for me. He wanted me to be a starting pitcher, wanted me not to hit. So I wasn't too happy about it, but I was out there to compete, and ended up getting tendonitis in my elbow, and really kind of hindered me for the rest of the season, or towards the end of the season, I should say. Fast forward to my junior year, they ended up wanting to keep me in the starting pitcher role, but didn't really tell me. I was training as a closer and still working, getting my batting practice rounds and all, and I just wasn't playing at all. So I ended up only getting about 65 or so at bats my junior year, and again, having arm problems, pitching way too much, but wasn't training for it. So I was kind of unhappy about that. After my junior year, I ended up switching summer leagues. I went from the New England League, which is the NECBL, to the ECBL, which that league isn't even around anymore. But I ended up making the move because I wanted to get more at-bats and more playing time. So I'm glad I did, because I was able to play every day, and I was able to dominate. So one day I just was playing in front of several scouts and some advisors, which I didn't even know were there. I ended up hitting 3 doubles that day and attracted their attention. They started following me. Once they heard about my story at Stony Brook and how I was unhappy there, they told me if I'm serious about baseball, I need to find another place to play. So going into my senior year, so it was kind of nerve-wracking. I kind of established somewhat of a ground at Stony Brook, but again, I really didn't know if I was going to play at all my senior year. So I ended up sending out some emails, and Mount Olive was the first college to get back to me. They heard about how I was a pretty good hitter. I had potential, but also I was a low to mid 90s guy off the mound. So they ended up giving me a full ride without even seeing me play. Um, so I ended up getting down to Mount Olive College, and there was just loads of talent there. Division II school in North Carolina, and played out the fall. They were trying to feel me out to see if I was someone that could be in their lineup, and I ended up hitting over 600 in the fall. And going into winter break, the coach told me that I am the highest projected draft prospect on their team, and he emphasized it was as a hitter, and that just pumped me up. And he said that he wanted to make a few adjustments with my swing and my approach, and he told me he promised if I follow him and buy into the program, I will get drafted. So he didn't need to say any more. I was all in, and sure enough, I went on to have a tremendous senior year. I set a few school records, including the all-time hit record and average. So I hit 446 with 99 hits. But I had over 80 RBIs, or 70, 75, 80 RBIs, about 80 runs scored, 26 bags, and 17 home runs, and really set myself up great for the draft season, and ended up getting drafted in the 13th round by the Baltimore Orioles after I went to several showcases at big leagues parks, which I'll share those stories in another video. And after getting drafted, I went to Aberdeen, played for the Aberdeen Ironbirds in 2010. Struggled my first year of pro ball, but came back my sophomore year, made some adjustments, and got promoted to low A with the Delmarva Shorebirds. Had a pretty good year. It was decent for my second year. And then went into my third year, which in 2012 for the Frederick Keys was probably my best professional season I had. I was a high A all-star, played with a lot of big-name guys, which I'll have that story in another video as well. And ended up getting released in 2013 in the spring, so didn't get a shot in Double A, which that'll be a story for you guys. But ended up getting picked up by an independent ball team in Trois Rivières, and that was in the Can-Am League. So went there, ended up going to the Frontier League in 2014 and 15, and basically wrapped up my career in the Frontier League. So as far as my baseball career goes, I love the game. I had to measure out whether I wanted to stick around and play independent ball or minor league ball. I was getting married and bought a house at the end of 2015, so I decided to hang them up and start a real full career, something that I could get settled into. And but I started playing in men's leagues after I retired. Got to go back and play with my brother and my good friend, and now that's where you see all these videos come up, are in those leagues. And it was last summer I decided to post a couple of videos of me doing impersonations. So I did a Griffey, David Ortiz, and Robinson Cano video I posted on a YouTube channel, and left them there for a couple months, didn't think anything of it. And one of my college friends reached out to me, along with about 7 other guys I played ball with, saying that they saw me on Twitter, and I don't even have a Twitter. So I looked, they sent me the link, and it was, sure enough, it was me hitting like Robbie Cano, and it had almost 250,000 views. So I was like, okay, I guess I should do something with this, and that's how the channel started up. So since then, I started the channel up. A few months into it, I got my first sponsor with Stinger Bats. You see me use right here their batting gloves, and the hat right there are theirs. They're in the process right now of making a Swingman model bat, which I am so excited about, and I'll have that for you guys as soon as I get that in. But yeah, and everything's been going ever since, and trying to build this channel up. And and hopefully get a lot of cool content. Now I have some more editing skills available, and I'll have a lot more side-by-sides of my impersonations, which I just did my first one, and it turned out great. So, but yeah, that's my baseball story. I'll have more stories stemming off of this one, but that's just the basis of it. That's how I got drafted, and that was my, I guess, my pathway to get to where I am today. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below. I'll be posting more and more on my Instagram every day and trying to get more YouTube videos out to you guys as much as possible. Again, thanks for watching, guys. Please hit that like button and subscribe. Hope you guys have a good day. Keep working hard.